I have finally reached what are called the Misqa tanks. These are a number of tanks, holes dug in the bare rock. As you can see, this is one of them, by our ancestors to supply water to the Ħaġar Qim complex and Mnajdra complex. This is quite an extensive area, and it was quite an ascent to the hilltop above Mnajdra. Look, there's Filfla in the distance. Mnajdra is down below, somewhere here, while Ħaġar Qim is at the top behind the tree over there. So basically, these tanks used to fill up with rainwater, and they supplied the two complexes with water. Now, for instance, this one is all covered up in soil, but this is still open and it's full of water because it has rained, obviously. This is also full of water. So is this. And this one is covered up with slabs of stone. Now, interestingly, this is quite a strange feature here. This is one of the biggest, in fact, as this is. This is one of the biggest. But when you see the design of the slabs which cover it, they look pretty much like the entrance to a temple. You have the trilithon, see? And you have, on each far side, an orthostat. One wonders whether there was a reason for that, or if, to our ancestors, this particular cistern led to the underworld. Hence the trilithon, the entrance, marking a different place. Now, considering it's in the rocks, in the bare rocks, what comes to mind is basically the underworld. It's quite complex, huh? Because there are also depressions in the rock as well. Look, it's as if one supplied the other. Once one was full, the overflow of water went into another and another. Look, for instance, this one. See, this is one of the biggest ones. It's on higher ground than that one over there. So basically, there's a fissure here, which was probably man-made, leading to that tank. So excess water from here would trickle down and go there and fill that tank. Same here. This one, there's a fissure here leading here, or probably I would say this would lead here, because this is a little bit lower than this. So basically, This is the one on the highest level of this area. Look. This is lower than this, and this is even higher than this over here. So it must have been an entire network of water collection to distribute to the two sites. So there must have been some type of subterranean tunnels or channels like the ones which we see above ground here, unless our ancestors came up here for the water themselves. But given the considerable distance, I don't know, it could be quite a feat coming up here for water. There could be underground tunnels or like pipes, so to speak. This is an interesting feature as well. I imagine it would fill up with water. There is a hole there, see, which would fill that circular recipient which is below the square one. It's on lower ground, at a lower level. This is interesting. This is another one. Okay, could that be one of the holes leading to the structures themselves, or somewhere lower where they could collect water close to the Mnajdra site? They are quite deep, especially the big ones. In fact, there are signs for parents to be careful and be vigilant of their children, lest they trip and fall into these cisterns. Okay, here's another one here. All right. Okay, this does quite kind of strengthen my hypothesis that there could be some type of channels which go down closer to at least the Mnajdra. And here, I'm very pleased to have finally found them, because I had been scouring the area for quite some time. This is now empty of water and full of rubble, dirt, stones, weeds. Look at this one. It's now empty, but hey, we can see the cut marks. Cool. And at the bottom there, it seems that it goes even deeper and further in. Could that be the evidence of an underground channel, an underground system? carrying the water to lower levels. Okay, quite big, huh? Quite big and deep. And this is not one of the deepest. Another one which has some water. Apparently these are still used nowadays for irrigation. So our ancestors have done something which has endured throughout the millennia. Now this is an interesting one. I'm walking down its length. Reaching the edge. Trying to figure out the design. It's rather long, so I'm going to walk again its length, because the curious feature is basically this one, and more importantly this one. Now there has been one interpretation which has in the meantime been kind of ignored or debunked, that this could represent Thoth, the Egyptian ibis god Thoth, the god of writing, wisdom. Now, if this is the case, we really have to stretch our imagination. Okay, you might say that this part here could be the head and the beak of the ibis, but as for the rest, I wouldn't quite agree. Because these are the channels leading to other cisterns. So basically the curious design could be merely a coincidence, unless it could be something else. But Thoth, what do you think? I'm close to the edge now, and I can see these wide channels. Look, that's really wide. Maybe it led downhill for water to travel. There's another one, another channel, and here is a slope. More channels here. This is exactly where they are. The Misqa tanks are there. I've just been there, a few meters away. Mnajdra is down below. And Ħaġar Qim is up there.
The Misqa tanks have not been studied well so far. This undoubtedly gives rise to several questions about not merely their use, but also how they were used. After I shot the footage of the cisterns, whose name Misqa incidentally means watering place, I wondered whether there really might be any underground channels leading at least to Mnajdra. No such evidence exists so far. In fact, the tanks were meant to be cleaned up for further investigation in recent years. However, as was clearly visible in the video, this hasn't been done yet. Until further research is done, we're to believe that our ancestors came all the way up to this place to collect water for both Mnajdra and Ħaġar Qim. Mnajdra is around 300 meters below, while Ħaġar Qim could well be close to a kilometer away. Nonetheless, what is clear to us is that our ancestors were innovative in creating a water collection system on an otherwise arid island. Water scarcity has always been an issue in Malta, since the island lacks natural springs and lakes which could supply water to the inhabitants. Therefore, it would be quite understandable that ancient civilizations inhabiting the island came up with life-changing solutions to have an adequate supply of water. This, however, calls for further investigation into why this area needed such an intricate water system. Was it simply for the two complexes nearby? Or was there also a community in the vicinity which used this life-saving source for survival? Further investigation thus awaits. Thank you for joining me today during my exploration of the Misqa tanks. This is Moira from Raven Expeditions. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thank you.